Welcome to another edition of Bates Botanical Boot Camp. We are here today to talk to you about holiday houseplants.
Which are not throwaway plants, by the way.
That is, absolutely. You can enjoy them year-round, year to year. They make great little gifts.
Or you can compost them.
Recycle.
Recycle those plants. Give them back to Mother Nature and get another one next year if something happens. All right, so we're going to start talking about poinsettias.
The classic Christmas plant.
Everyone has them. Everyone loves them. You see them all over the malls around this time of year, made into Christmas tree shapes. Great holiday plant, great holiday gift, super easy to care for. So let's just dive in talking about those a little bit. So they're native to Mexico, which means they're going to love bright light and warm weather. So you're going to want to bring them in. Some people have asked us questions about keeping them on their porch through the winter. Probably not the best idea. I mean, if we had a warm winter when it was 50 degrees, they would do great. But
no frost.
Probably not going to happen here.
No frost on those fronds.
No frost on those fronds. So you'll want to have them inside when you buy them. Go ahead and bring them in the house. They're going to need at least 6 hours of bright sunlight daily. So you'll want to keep them in a bright room. Can be on an opposite wall from your window. Doesn't have to be like getting direct sunlight. They'll probably do better in indirect light. So a nice bright room, 6+ hours of sunlight a day. Warm temperatures like 65 to 75 degrees, which is probably what you keep your house at.
Hopefully.
Already. So you stay nice and cozy and you're not too chilly in there. They do like to stay pretty evenly moist. I would recommend not letting them dry out all the way. And you can do like a nice check. You know, you can put your finger in the pot and make sure like the top like ½ inch can dry out. But under that, you're going to want to feel moisture. And then it'll tell you it's about time to water.
Just don't let them sit in water.
Yes, very important. Thank you, Vanessa. So a lot of them come in a foil container, which will hold water. So you don't want that. If you want to keep it in that container to keep it looking, very festive and shiny, you're more than welcome to do it. But I would recommend when you water it, let it sit for like 30 seconds, maybe even a minute, and then take that wrap off, dump the water out, and then she'll be ready to go, and she'll be super happy.
We have a lot of fun colors right now, too, other than your classic red. We have these cute little pink and white variegated ones, if you like the pink glitter Christmas, like I
already bought one of those.
Yes.
Ooh.
We've got white. We've got...
Where's our
speckles.
Oh, let's bring... Hold on. Look at this beaut.
Snowflake pattern. We love it.
We have 8 of those left. Get here. So there's a lot to choose from. Our greenhouse, our garden center, is currently full of poinsettias. You might have seen it on our Instagram or Facebook. Thanks to Tyler, again, just doing great. So if you do want to keep these plants going until next year, which I've had mine for like 3 years.
That's pretty good.
One of our landscape specialists, Austin, has bonsai'd his. I think he's had his for like 7. It's pretty fun to keep them going. So in the spring, if you want, they're going to get kind of leggy through the winter, especially if they're like reaching for light. You can cut them back to like 4 to 6 inches above your soil line, and then they'll be bushy again. One of mine I've let just grow, so it's probably...
Poinsettia tree,
which is what I'm going for. Probably about 3 feet tall right now, and I'm not going to cut that. I'm just going to let it go to see what it looks like. To keep the colors alive in your poinsettia, again, as you see here, these are actually leaves. They're bracts, so they're not flowers. Looks like a flower, but if you look at... Here, let's bring this bad boy back in. Here, Vanessa, you can hold it while I talk. So if you look at the leaves, they're the exact same shape as what you think would be the flower. So these are actually leaves that just change color. But you do have to work to get this beautiful color back in your poinsettia around the holidays. So let's talk about that. It can be a little daunting, but you're going to want to give this beautiful little friend about 12 hours of darkness a day. So you can put it in a closet where no light turns on, because once you turn a light on, once it gets any light exposure during that 12 hours, it's going to break that cycle. Or one of my favorite things, take a box and just stick it on top. And then you can
It'll
take
be wrapped
that
like a present.
Oh, yes. You can make it festive, for Halloween, because you'll want to start it in October if you want it to be this color around the holidays. So you can put some spooky things on that box. Transition to Thanksgiving, put some turkeys on it. There you go. So you'll want to take that box off for a few hours of light a day. When I say few, like 6 hours. And then put that box right back on around nighttime for it to kind of go dormant and hopefully start producing color.
And then once those leaves start changing colors, even if they go back to like a longer light cycle, they will continue to turn. But that shortened light cycle is what triggers the color change.
Yes, correct. And these are pretty non-toxic to cats and dogs, so they are safe to have around. If you break it, you'll see that white sap come out.
Can be mildly irritating.
Might make them vomit on something, but I think as long as they don't eat the entire plant, should be okay.
Yeah.
It might give your skin a little bit of irritation if you get it on, but
so with
should
caution,
be fine.
but definitely not that reputation for being super toxic like
the sago palm.
Yeah.
That one is spooky.
Right.
So I guess we're ready to move on to our next.
Another
Holiday plant.
classic Christmas plant is this little cutie, the Norfolk Island pine. It's actually not a pine at all. It is its own little prehistoric genus called Araucaria. Totally unrelated to pines, but does have that nice evergreen, needly kind of look. These guys are really tropical, actually, so they are not going to be happy outdoors. They like warm temperatures and a lot of humidity. But
yeah, I keep mine out of, I have one that I've had for a while. And then Vanessa gave me one.
Yeah.
And I keep mine out of direct sunlight. When I first got one, probably like 8 years ago, I was like, oh, this is like a tree. I could stick it outside and it instantly turned kind of like a brownish yellow from getting that direct sunlight. So if you do put it outside in the winter, you're going to want to keep it like on a covered porch where it doesn't get a lot of
keep it nice and toasty. Yeah, I'd say temps above like 50 or so. And yeah, they like bright but indirect light, so definitely keep it out of direct sunlight. The younger ones, especially the little guys, don't handle the direct light as well. They can get a little bit crispy. And they keep growing. That. Like, they make a really cool little house plant because, most pines and other conifers, like, they want full sun outdoors. But if you like that kind of look, you can keep this little guy year-round as a house plant. They can get quite large in nature. It's like, over 100 feet. Like, this will grow into, like, a full-on tree. Indoors, more like 8 feet.
Yeah. And once they reach, I'd say about, like, 5 feet, you can slowly acclimate them into direct sunlight.
Yeah.
When temperatures turn warm, like end of spring into the summer, you can set it on your porch and then bring it out into direct sunlight. Yeah. Like the mature plants can handle direct. It's just the little babies.
Little babies need a little extra TLC.
Yeah.
And the nice thing about these guys, the ASPCA does list these as non-toxic. So if you've got pets, that's great. I'd probably still be a little cautious, like about the needles, but not going to harm your pets.
Yeah, and watering, they do like to stay more moist than you would imagine.
Yeah, these guys do like a little bit more moderate watering. They don't want to dry out too much in between. So water regularly. Nice, well-draining mix, though.
Yeah. Are we ready to move on?
Yeah.
All right.
Let's keep going.
Christmas cactus. Here we go. Which are getting kind of hard to find this time of year. We actually only have a few left in stock, which you can see one up here, but I do have a smaller one right here. Yes. So unfortunately, ours are not blooming. They already did bloom. These will probably rebloom one more time. Possibly this season, kind of depending on light that you get. Like if you were to come here,
buds coming back in.
It does have some buds. So if you were to come pick it up, put it in your house with some sunlight, you'll probably get lucky. Yeah. Maybe get a few blooms out of it.
Even though like cactus is in the name, these guys are actually epiphytes, so they grow.
They are in the forest on trees. They like mossy.
Yeah, so a little bit more water and not quite as like intensive sun as like your typical cactus.
Correct. Yeah, you hear that name cactus and you think it's going to want full sunlight, dry soil. Totally opposite. These guys don't handle direct sunlight well at all. Even in the summer, if you try to acclimate it, they're going to start turning brown if you're setting it like by your pool
Get
where
a
it's going to
little
get light
suntan.
all the time. Yeah, they don't want a suntan. They're fine just the way they are. Also, water-wise with these, they like to stay fairly moist, about a ½ inch past the soil line. You can let that dry out, but you'll want to keep them fairly watered. And a good rule of thumb, especially with these, if they start to really dry out, the soil will pull away from the pot, and you don't want that because that's going to be way too dry for those. So the more light you have in the room that you're keeping them, the more blooms you're going to get. And same with the poinsettias, you're going to want to keep those away from the window, getting direct light. You don't want to fry those beautiful little arms on them.
Which really does leave more options for decorating.
It does, yeah. These low light plants do really well. And this one can tolerate lower light than the poinsettia, which is good if you have a house with just like an east or west or even north facing window and not a nice south facing window that a lot of tropicals like.
Yeah. Another option, similar to Christmas cactus, we have these really cute little kalanchoes, little
the candy canes.
These are succulents, so they, again, kind of similar here to the Christmas cactus, like not super, super dry. Like, I'd say let them dry out maybe like
They can dry out
halfway.
a little more, and they can tolerate a little more light. They can tolerate direct light.
And they bloom really continuously, too. So, yeah, they keep on going for probably, a couple months?
Yeah, a long time. And then you can just cut them back when they're done.
Yeah, and this little cutie still got nice little not red and green, white and green foliage, even when it's not blooming. So it's still a cute little plant to look
So
at.
it's going to look neat all the time. So with Christmas cactus blooming, again, if you want to keep yours year to year, which I do suggest, I mean, these plants aren't throwaway plants.
Yeah.
They
the
want to
bigger
keep
they get,
going.
the more they bloom, too.
Mine that I've had for years is probably like this big around and this tall, which I was going to bring today, but I didn't want to hurt her. So once you're done with the holiday season, your Christmas cactus is bloomed. They've all fallen off. Still looks cool, just not as colorful. You can keep it in the same spot through the winter. They do like to stay in the same spot, so if you can, don't move it around and be like, oh, I want to put it on my coffee table, I want to put it on my mantle. Pick one spot and leave it. And then to get it to rebloom, it's similar to the poinsettia, just not as long of a duration that you have to go from dark to light. You can do about 8 days of 12 hours of darkness and then bring it out. You'll start to see those buds. But with these, you do want to reduce watering, reduce temperature, and reduce light. So those are the 3 important things to really get that Christmas cactus to flourish the next season and make it pretty again. And those do well on a front porch with like an awning in the summer. If you want to put it outside, like we were talking about earlier, they're native to rainforests. So they do, they like a lot of humidity and watering and not a lot of direct light. And these are also non-toxic to animals and yourself. Well, don't eat it, but you won't get hurt if you accidentally bite it for some reason.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, the flowers look pretty delicious sometimes.
They do look like little snacks.
Don't
Don't do it. And it's super easy to propagate. If you like knock into it, or I've knocked my entire plant down before and a bunch of arms have fallen off. You can just take those, let them callus over for a few days so they don't rot, stick them in some soil, and you have a whole new plant. You can give it to a friend, or you can put it... Gift plants, that's right. Holiday gift plants. I think that's about it on that right now.
I'll go ahead and jump into another classic Christmas beauty, the amaryllis. These guys, of course, are known for like these huge, gorgeous, showy blooms. These little guys grow from bulbs. I've gotten a little amaryllis bulb right here. So you can plant these guys like usually November or so. You don't want to bury it too far in the soil. You want to leave about the top third sticking out. Or you can do it in like a vase with water and like pebbles at the bottom. They'll usually, a lot of times, they'll push out like the flower bract first. This one's got a couple on here. And they've got, these big velvety blooms. They come in like, a bunch of colors like white, double blooms, pink, and of course the classic red. And these guys, I mean, they'll probably bloom for about a month or two.
Yeah, you get a pretty long bloom time out of them.
And these guys are all pushing out like multiple flower stalks too. So they're still going. Once the flower stalk starts getting soft, you can remove the whole stem, and it'll just be some leaves, but it's great to let them grow like throughout the spring and summer, either as a house plant or outside in the shade. They don't want super, super direct light, but, bright and direct light like a lot of other house plants too. That'll work really well for them. But leave the leaves on there. So those guys are going to, photosynthesize all summer, and it'll help make a bigger, fatter bulb for more blooms next year.
Yes, bigger plant next year.
They do better when you let them go dormant a little bit. So usually like end of summer, like August, maybe September, start letting it dry out a little bit. Water pretty minimally, and that just let it die back, remove the leaves. Let it sit, I think about 8 weeks is usually recommended. And then once you are ready for it to begin blooming, mid-November, early mid-November, something like that, start watering him again, and
Bring
you will
him out
have
for
an
some
amaryllis.
light.
Yeah.
And hopefully even healthier than the year before.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bigger and better.
That's right.
And then, let's see, if you...
Cyclamen?
Yeah, cyclamens are next. So you've got this little cutie in front here with the pink blooms. If
They're
you like
fun
those
and exciting
big,
little plants, yeah. And they come in a few colors.
yeah, they're a little more compact, but they'll bloom continuously throughout the cool season. And they have like cute little foliage too. I like the leaves
even once
on
they
there.
stop blooming and you cut those back, it's still going to be an exciting plant on your coffee table.
They tend to bloom during the...
There's Tyler. TY coming in. Yeah, there
little
it is.
cyclamen. I love those blooms. They're so cool.
I do too. Yeah, they usually come in like pink, white, light
There's some
pink.
purples. Yeah, I think, more like
I
a
normally
red.
see this color, but there are some rare colors out there. If you're
Double
if
blooms,
you're making a
frilly
collection,
blooms, yes.
ooh, yeah, we did go down a rabbit hole on the internet one day looking at all the different blooms. Of
There are
those.
very many. They're all wonderful.
Now, do those like to stay pretty moist, Vanessa?
Pretty evenly moist. Like, you don't want them super, super wet all the time. But they do tend to droop pretty dramatically when they are thirsty.
Yeah,
So
they let you know, just like those peace lilies we discussed a few weeks ago on our Houseplants 101. That's a good plant that will definitely tell you what it needs. So if you're looking to pick out a holiday houseplant and you don't have a lot of experience, or you're getting a gift for somebody who you're like, I don't know how well they do with houseplants, that would probably be the best to go for
exactly.
because it lets you know.
Yeah. And these guys do have a dormancy period in the warmer months during summer. Usually, like once they're at room temperature for, a few weeks, you will start seeing like some of the leaves yellowing. It's not dying, it's just going dormant. So you can, trim it back once the leaves kind of die back and it stops blooming. Just keep it on the drier side, maybe a little water every now and again. It's got like a big tuber that it'll regrow from. And when you want it to start growing again, reblooming, you can move it to a cooler area like a garage or something like that, cool but sheltered, and start watering again. And that should trigger it to keep going, keep blooming.
Bigger
But
next year. Just like that bad boy.
But yeah, and they bloom like the whole time.
Yeah, they do.
Just keep pushing up new flowers. They're
I'm always
great.
surprised at how much they bloom. You think it's done and it just
It keeps going.
keeps on going. Well, we'll talk about a few other little honorable mentions that we have here at Bates Nursery that make good gifts or good gift for you, and they kind of have that holiday feel.
Yeah.
Our
that one.
Christmas Carol aloe.
Little
I don't know if you can
cutie.
see the color on it, but it's a climbing aloe, so it'll get a little taller, and it's got nice red tips.
Yeah.
So it's got that nice holiday feel.
A little bit of red and green.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And this is an aloe, so just like succulents, it's going to like dry soil, bright light. And they grow pretty quickly. I've got one at home right now that is super happy and thriving. I had it in some direct sunlight on my front porch when it was warm. I took it in as soon as temperatures dipped below like 55, and it's doing great.
Awesome.
Quick question. What's
yeah.
a climbing aloe?
Ooh, what is a climbing aloe? So you can see how this right here is starting to get taller. This isn't going to get as large as some of them, But there is one variety, the climbing aloe, that I wish I had a picture or one of them. But it will create these long arms and the leaves die off. And so it's kind of viney looking. I mean, mine probably has some arms that are about 4 feet long, and you can stake it up and let it climb. It's not going to actually attach itself to anything.
It just gets tall.
It just gets tall. Like the mother plant will be super bushy inside, and it'll shoot off all of these like spirally arms that have
little
one
babies.
little baby on the end. So that's what those are.
All right.
So we've got the mini pineapple. Tyler might have
yeah.
to walk his legs back out here, dance his little legs back out here and grab that
A
up.
little tropical cutie.
Yes, this is a great gift.
Because everyone wants to keep those little tropical vibes alive through the winter. We need a little bit of
Like you're at the
sunshine
beach.
and cheer.
Yeah.
Yeah, so cute little pineapple. Those are really fun. Definitely something more unique.
Yeah, definitely likes bright light, as you can tell just by the look of the plant. You can kind of look at it. No,
Are they edible or ornamental?
no, I was about to say
Those
they're
are
ornamental.
ornamental.
I mean, I don't think it would hurt you, but you're not going to want to eat it. It's not going to taste like a full-size pineapple.
These ones stay a little bit more compact than your farmed edible pineapple. And they, even though they're bromeliads, they do like a little bit more moisture than your typical epiphytic bromeliads. These guys like to grow in the ground, so keep it pretty evenly moist.
All right, let's see. We also have our little lavender and rosemary topiaries.
Yes, yeah, little Christmas trees, little
Which
minis.
these are edible. Yeah, you can use them for cooking. You can trim them so they hold that Christmas tree shape through the holiday season or even year round. But yeah, that's also another good gift for somebody who maybe likes to cook and wants to keep this in their kitchen near their window.
And transplant it to your herb garden in the spring.
That's right. And just keep it going. All right. Well, I think that sums it up for what we're covering today. So I guess we can open for Q&A if anybody has any questions. Tyler can hop on that mic.
Oh, I'm on it.
Yeah.
I'm hoping to gift plants to all of my friends for Christmas. Recommendations for the best house plant to gift for new plant parents?
Cyclamen, as we discussed before, would be a great one. I mean, all of these are easy. I don't know if you're actually looking for a holiday plant or just a house plant across the board, because that would depend on
Yeah, I mean, for
size and-
like general house plants, like most of the philodendrons or pothos are really good.
She said
for,
maybe either.
Yeah.
maybe either, which we
Or both.
have. A philodendron. Yes, we have a philodendron right here.
That little vining heartleaf guy in the front.
And you can do minis, which aren't going to be too expensive, and create your own planter to give to friends if you're looking
Mix
to
it
get
up a
super
little.
creative, which we are
Yeah.
covering next Friday and are creating mixed planters for gifts. So that might be a good one to tune into. We have a few up here, but we're also going to cover succulent planters, cacti,
Yeah.
all
But
of
house
them.
plant gifts, like in general, maybe, just easy care. And phillos, pothos, super adaptable. And then, the cyclamens for the holiday ones, or even like the little kalanchoes. Those are nice, bright
That's a
and,
great one.
bright and cheery if they've got more light.
We didn't get a chance to hold that up. You mind if I come and grab it from you?
Oh,
Yeah.
get in here, Tyler. And you can always come on down and visit us, and we can walk you through and kind of help you pick out things that you think your friends would like. Thanks, TY.
Thank you.
All right. I hope that answered your question.
Any other questions you have, just type in the chat below. We'll hang out for another minute or two.
Yeah. So again, we're doing mixed planters for gifts next Friday.
We've been getting very creative.
We have
been
been.
really
We
fun.
have a whole build your own succulent garden section now.
Yes, we do. Cute little minis. And succulents are one of
Those
the
are
easiest
easy.
things to mix. Like
As
mix
long
and
as you
match.
don't, or you tell your friend not to overwater them, they will be great for years to come.
Just jumping in here, we also have, just for general interest, common houseplant pests. That's going to be Wednesday, December 9th, with Austin Lowen
Yeah.
So that kind of,
Snaps.
we're really houseplant focused right now. And after the new year, we'll also have some Houseplant Appreciation Day webinars as well. And
Every day is houseplant appreciation.
indoor fern care. So watch our website for those to come online in the next couple of weeks. RSVP, sign up for our newsletter. And we looks like we don't have any other questions. So,
Well, as we wrap up, we just want to mention this cast iron plant that we didn't talk about. I bet all of you sitting at home were wondering, what is that beautiful plant next to Caroline's head? Well, let's talk about it. So there are some cast iron varieties that we do sell here as a perennial that you can plant outside that are going to come back every year. This one is not one of those. It's more of a tropical. You see these beautiful speckled leaves that look like a nighttime winter sky.
Yes, they do.
Which is going to look great
Snow
amongst your
sprinkles.
poinsettias. Tyler's making his way over. Snow sprinkles, that's right, Vanessa. There it is. So those can tolerate pretty low light. So that's a great house plant to add to your home if you don't have a lot of windows and it's a lower light situation. And we do have these available here at Bates Nursery.
And they pair wonderfully with many of our holiday houseplants.
Like, just look at it behind that. It's beautiful.
a comment says, we need Bates Club jackets. I live in your Zoom now.
Oh, we do need those. You're talking to the
need
right
to be
person.
Jenna.
Tyler's our merch guy.
Yes.
Ooh, merchandise guy.
Keep an eye out. We might have something like that.
Ooh,
in the
denim
near future.
jackets.
Yes, with
or
big
just
patches.
tracksuits. I'd be down for a
Oh.
velour tracksuit.
Red velour, no, pink, no leopard print.
Leopard print pink.
I was going to suggest Snuggies. No, they out of season.
Silence across the board when
Okay.
Tyler said that. Nope.
Maybe I shouldn't be in charge of this.
No, Tyler, you're doing great. I'm sorry I
doing
shot
great.
down that idea. I'm
It's
proud
okay.
of you.
It's not the first.
And I'm here for you, Tyler. All right. Any more questions? I mean, we could keep talking all day.
Yeah.
I did skip over Christmas cactus pretty quickly. One good troubleshooting thing that we do get a lot of questions about when it comes to Christmas cactus is your Christmas cactus budding and then never fully blooming, which I feel like it's problematic because you hear the name cactus and you think, oh, it wants a dry condition, bright light.
I think it's water.
It's watering and humidity. So if it's not getting enough humidity, you can do one of the humidity trays that we've
Little pebble trays.
we've talked about in a few of our webinars. That could be the culprit, not getting enough humidity. Also watering could be. So if your buds are falling off and it's not completing into that beautiful flower, could be your problem. All right. I guess that
Thank
wraps
you.
it up. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah.
Yeah.